Hi, my name's Trinity, and I'm an ERP advisor with Striven. Today we're talking about sales order management, and in this video we're going to talk about recurring sales orders. So we're going to talk about how to set up your sales order type so they allow recurring, setting up an actual recurring order, making change orders based on a recurring order, and then also going through the expiration queue. So let's jump right in and get started. To set up your recurring orders, you're going to first want to go to your company and then your settings, and then go to accounting, AR, sales orders, and you're going to want your sales order types. Now there is one in here by default, which is set up to be recurring, which is the subscription with electronic approval. So let's take a look at that one as an example, but you can definitely create a new one if you need to. So right from here, we can set our default payment terms, our invoice format, the display field. So if we want to give our order a name, if we want the order to have a target date, if a target date should be required, if the customer contact should be associated with the order, and if you want to associate this order with the project as well. And then turning on your advanced features, you have use for time and expense. So this is going to mark things by billable by default on your order. And then you can choose to collect feedback after an order is marked completed, so you can include a survey. And then display fulfill by date on line items. With your contract managed, you can choose your terms and conditions, so it's turned into a contract at this point. And then your invoicing type is where you're going to choose recurring for your recurring orders. You can then choose to not show the items on the partner portal for the order, so it'll only show the total and not the individual items. And then if you want to set up an internal approval process, you can do that as well. The approval methods is how is this order going to be approved by the contact or by you. Electronics means that it's going to send to the contact so they can sign into the portal and approve the order. Written will mean that you had received a written confirmation from them, so you have an attachment you can include for the written approval. Or verbal is you had a conversation with them, so it's been approved through a verbal conversation. Scrolling up at the top, you have your order notification settings, so you can set up who should be received when these orders are approved. If you notice, you can put an employee, but you can also just put an email address as well. And then you could choose if you want to be notified only if the orders from a certain division are approved, orders that are total greater than a certain amount, or if the order contains a specific item. Leaving these all blank will make it so every order will be notified of this person then. You can choose to add custom fields, which is additional fields that are not hard-coded into the system. You would just click the add, choose your field type, which includes alphanumeric, integer, decimal, and so on. You can also create a custom list or choose from an existing list, such as the contacts, employees, customers in the system. You can also choose to make it required, if it's encrypted or not, and also if it's visible on the portal or if it's only for your internal records. So now that we have our order set up for a recurring order, let's go ahead and create one. The easiest way to create a new order is to go to the plus sign and go to sales order. So for my type, I'm going to want to choose the subscription with electronic approval. This is the one that I just set up that I know is for a recurring order. Choose my customer. The bill to and the ship to automatically get put in there for me based on the customer's information. The contact gets selected for me, and then I can choose if I want to associate it to a project. The sales rep is adding me automatically because I'm the one signed in and adding this order, but I can change this if I'd like to a different employee. The terms and conditions can be viewed or edited right from here. And then you have your order information, such as your order date, order number, order name, your customer PO number, and if you'd like all invoices that are created from this order to be sent to the printing queue or not. Our invoicing options is going to have the frequency, the start date, the terms, and the payment terms. Now this is all based on the fact that we have it set up as a recurring sales order type. So for my frequency, I'm going to say it's a monthly order. You can choose to add lead time for the invoice generation. So what this will do, it'll create the invoice a couple days in advance, so that way there's enough time for the person to be notified and make any additional payments that they may need to do. Your start date can be pre-dated or post-dated as needed. So let's say mine actually started about a month ago, so I'm going to put it to August 1st. Keep in mind you can choose to make the start date based on the approval as well. You can choose if your order is going to expire or not. So if this will recur only for a certain amount of times, then it'll expire. You can choose by unchecking this and then saying how many times it should recur. For me, I'm going to say it needs to recur for 6 months. It's going to show me what my projected expiration date is and then also what the payment terms are. Keep in mind you can add any customer notes and internal notes, and you can always switch to an advanced editor to add a more formatting option to your notes. Scrolling down below, now we're getting into our items. So you'll select the item that you're charging for. enter in the price, and then you'll hit Create Order once you're ready. Electronic approval means that it'll send to the contact so they can sign into the portal and approve the order. Written will allow me to upload a contract or a document that will go along with the written approval. Or I can do verbal approval and just say approve. Now let's say something has changed with my order and I need it to reflect so within the order itself. Now since this was a contract managed order, the items and the price are locked down. But what I can do is from the Actions menu, I can create a change order. Right from here, it's going to fill in all the information from the original order for me. I would just need to choose the effective date, and I can view valid effective dates so it stays within the same billing cycle as well, and choose right from here. And then scrolling down below, I have the item that I have selected. Now I can edit this or choose to add additional items as needed. Maybe I charged $250, but in reality, it was actually supposed to be $300. I'm going to create change order, and then verbally approve it. Going back into my order, I can now click on the change order tab here so I can see the history of all the active orders. Now, what if my order is going to be expiring? Something to keep in mind is that under customers, we do have an expirations queue. This is going to list all the orders, which customer they're associated with, the order total, when they are set to expire, the number of terms they have set, and then you can choose to auto-renew, create a new order, create a change order, or mark the order as completed. Keep in mind you do have your additional search filters at the top. Once I'm ready to mark my order completed, I can do so from right here.